The live is on. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what I'm about. Y'all know what we're going to get into. Or y'all don't know what we're going to get into, but you're going to find out in a minute what we get into. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday here. We're going to get started in like 45 seconds. I'm going to give people a few seconds to get in, and then we're going to get right into it. Today's topic, as you can see, we just posted that topic. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday and enjoyed I just watched the play-in game. Portland Trailblazers against the Memphis Grizzlies. That was actually a good game. So as y'all in here, like Mozart Gates said, y'all can just read that comment. That's a good comment that basically sums it up. So as y'all come in, y'all can leave a comment. Tell me where you're checking in from. I'm going to give everybody like 30 seconds. Then we're going to get right into what we're getting into. The topic is the limits of talent. These are the things that talent cannot do for you, even though talent can help you. It's good to have talent, but talent can't do everything for you. We're going to cover what talent cannot do for you. So I'm gonna give everybody like 30 seconds. Then we're gonna get into it. Again, y'all don't know me. I'm gonna introduce myself in a minute. I'm gonna introduce the topic in a minute. I'm gonna tell you why we talking about this. And if people got questions, I'm gonna take all the questions at the end. So anybody who posts a question, I will answer your question after I get through what I'm getting through. So anybody got a question, we will get in here. So we got Emmanuel checking in from Georgia. I think you're the first person to shout out your location. So shout out to Emmanuel from Georgia. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I'm the creator of this whole brand, business, and philosophy called Work on Your Game, the CEO of the company. I'm a former 9-year professional athlete. I'm the author of 27 books. I'm the creator of over 15,000 pieces of content. And what my whole business is about is giving you that real conversation, that real talk that comes from some of it I learned in the sports world, some of it I learned in the business world. Doesn't matter which world you're in. You might not be in either one, but I'm going to give you that real conversation, the direct stuff. I'm going to help you self-reflect. I'm going to help you really get serious about what you need to tell yourself, what you need to know for yourself, not what you want to know for yourself. You can hear what you want to know from anybody, your mom, your grandma. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. That's what the Work on Your Game philosophy is all about. At least that's what I see people are getting from it. I can say it's about a lot of different things, but that's what I see people are getting from it. Dylan checking in from New York. Shout out to everybody in New York, man. I heard New York is emptying out, man. People can't live there no more with this COVID right now, taking everything apart. Charles from Mississippi, what's good? So today's topic is the limits of talent. What talent cannot do for you. First of all, some of you may have heard the saying that hard work can beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. If you're checking in on Facebook as well, you can leave a comment and check in. And people have said that, and I want you to understand that at some levels that is true, but at some levels it's not. At the amateur level, if you outwork somebody who's more talented than you, you might be able to, actually you probably won't be able to. You probably won't be able to beat them out, depending on how big the talent gap is. So that statement is true sometimes, but it's also not true other times. It depends on how much more talented the other person is. If the person is up here with talent and you're down here and you just want to work hard to try to beat them, or you might be able to work hard and get to like right here, but you're not going to win. So sometimes a talent gap is too much for you to overcome if you don't have the right talent. So I am not here to tell you that talent does not matter. All right, that's the exact opposite of what I say. Talent matters. Whatever you're going to choose to do in life, the thing that you're going to choose to like hitch your wagon to, you want to make that your thing in life. Choose something in which you have some talent, in which you have some natural advantages over other people who are going to try to do the same thing, because that is the way that you win. Now, you're not winning life, banging your head against a stone wall where other people have talent and you don't. So if anybody told you that, then they were absolutely lying to you. Now, I'm going to tell you in masterclass number 1442, my Work on Your Game masterclass that comes out every day. If y'all didn't know about it, you can get it at Work on Your Game University. The question was, does talent matter for success? The answer was yes. So make sure you listen to that one. And today I'm going to tell you about, and I also taught in 1103, Masterclass 1103, the greatness equation, what you need to combine your certain elements of talent, certain elements of effort to create greatness. And if you don't have one or the other or either, you're in trouble. All right, so make sure you check both of those masterclass. That's 1103 and 1442. But now today I'm going to give you one straight from here. What talent cannot do for you. Here's the number one thing talent cannot do for you. It cannot take you past the ceiling of your personal brilliance. You don't know what that means. I'm going to explain to you what it means. When you are a talented individual, that means there are certain skills and abilities and gifts and traits that you have naturally. There are things that maybe you work on them a little bit, maybe you work on them a lot, but you have some natural abilities or certain things that other people just don't have. But understand something, just because you are naturally brilliant at certain things, that doesn't mean you're great at everything, and it doesn't mean that just having that talent alone is going to be enough for you to become a quote-unquote success. So you're going to need to add some other elements to that talent. Sometimes when people find that they are talented at things, they don't work as hard. Maybe you get a little bit complacent. Maybe you don't put the same amount of effort in. But understand that if the only thing that you're using to move ahead and advance is your talent, that means you're not applying any hard work. You're not applying any strategy. You're not learning anything. You are not honing your talents to turn them into actual skills. And there's a difference between skill and talent. Talent is a natural ability and skill is a practiced ability. So you can take a talent and make it into a super level skill, but you got to put some effort in. You don't have a skill by luck. You can have a talent bestowed upon you because of your genetics or your parents or whatever. But skill is something that you must work on. So anyone wondering how do I consider the difference between talent and skill? Talent is a natural ability. Skill is something that you work on and you develop over time. So if you are not putting effort behind your talent, you will only go as far as your talent goes. And here's the problem with that. Even if you're a really talented individual, when you get to the highest levels of whatever you do, talking about the professional level where people are getting paid and paying money, everybody's talented. All right, everybody has game. Everybody has skill. If you're a talented model, when you get to the professional level of modeling, all the models are pretty. All right, you thought you were pretty, so you stood out your whole life. Then you get to the pro level, all the girls are pretty or all the guys are pretty. You're a basketball player, you get to the pro level, everybody can run and jump and they all can dribble and shoot. So you're going to need more than just talent. All right, so when you see the best people at the professional level doing their thing who are better than even the other professionals, is not because they're just so much more talented than everybody else, even though they do have talent. It is because they are combining. They're honing their skills. They're working on their game. They're putting in the hard work. They have a strategy in place. They're doing all these additional things in addition to having talent that makes them great. You look at someone like, we'll use LeBron James as an example because he's someone that everyone knows who he is. There are plenty of stories. Like LeBron James does a whole lot for himself and for his body outside of just his talent, that he puts a lot of money into his body, into his fitness, into his training, his nutrition, the way he takes care of himself, all the stuff he does for his mind and everything. Because even though he's a very talented individual, he understands on many levels that it's going to take a little bit more strategy than just being talented alone for him to be one of the best. Now, he could probably be in the NBA just off of his talent because he's just that talented. But to become one of the best, which he is, he had to put some more strategy behind it. You need to do the exact same thing. Talent alone is not enough. Point number 2. We're talking about the limits of talent, the things that talent cannot do for you. Number 2, talent cannot fill your skill gaps. Let me explain what that means when I say a skill gap. A skill gap is any ability, a practiced ability that you could have if you worked on your game, but you don't have yet because you haven't worked on that aspect of your game. Being a talented individual means you're talented at whatever you're talented at. Doesn't mean you're talented at everything. I don't know anyone who's talented at everything. I know many people, actually everybody I know is talented at something. Some of them are focusing on it. Some of them are completely unaware. Some of them are ignoring their talents for whatever reason. But nobody has every ability. Nobody has every skill. Okay? So when you are talented at something, that doesn't mean that your work is over. That means that's when your work is beginning, because you're going to need to do other things to fill in the gaps of what you're missing. For example, if you're a talented, we'll just keep it on basketball. You're a talented basketball player and you can run really fast, you can jump really high. That doesn't mean that you can dribble. You might need to work on that. You might need to work on the skill of dribbling. Maybe you got to work on the skill of shooting. You got to work on your basketball IQ, knowing how to play team defense, work on how to throw the right type of pass. Those are all skills that you need to fill in. And if you don't fill those skill gaps, even if you're a super talented athlete, you can run and you can jump. You might get to a certain point in basketball, but there's a limit that you're going to reach because there are skills that you are missing. So that's what I mean when I say skill gaps. For example, if you're a person who's a really good writer, we'll take it outside of the sports world. You're a really good writer. You have this great writing talent and you want to spread your writing talent to the world. There are skills that you don't have. Maybe you're not a great public speaker. Anyone who's a great writer, if you can add the skill of being a great public speaker to your skill of writing, now you can spread your message to a whole other audience of people who don't really read that much, so they'll never know about your writing, but they do watch videos, they do go to events, they do listen to podcasts. Now they can hear you because all the stuff that you were writing down that they would never consume because they're not readers, they can take you in when you get on YouTube or you get on Spotify or you go stand on the stage somewhere or you get on a live stream. So adding skills actually opens up the possibilities for you to share your talent. See, a writing talent can also become a public speaking talent. It can become a communication talent if you fill in the skill gaps of what you're missing. So anything that you find yourself to be talented at, here's the key question you got to ask yourself is, what are the symbiotic skills that if I add other skills around this skill will actually make me better? For any of you who plays a sport, we'll take it back to basketball. And I'll give you another example outside of sports as well. Take a guy like LeBron James. He's a really good player, right? He can run, he can jump, he can score, he can pass. What's the best type of team you want to put around LeBron James? You want to put people around who can run the pick and roll, who can get to the basket, he can throw them a pass, they catch it, they make the dunk. You want to put shooters around him, people who can make three-point shots, because LeBron draws the defense in, and then he finds those shooters with great passes, and they make three-pointers, and they score their points. We've seen this. Any of you who's a basketball fan, you know this is what works with LeBron James. There's a certain type of player who you want to put on LeBron James's team who will excel around LeBron and will help LeBron excel. And those are certain skills, metaphorically speaking, that you personally, if you're LeBron, you got a certain talent, but you need to put skills around you that will help you be successful. If you're a really talented, let's say a musician, you're a really talented singer or rapper, but you don't know anything about the business of the music industry, you might want to get someone around you who has that skill. So filling in your skill gaps doesn't necessarily mean that you had to develop every single skill. It means either you develop it or you get people around you or elements around you that can fill in the skills that you're missing. So if you're a really good singer, but you know nothing about the industry, you can either go to the library or Amazon and buy 10 books about the music business, read them all and apply everything, or you go find yourself a manager or an agent who can handle all the business side of things for you, at least somebody that you can trust. If you're a great rapper, like Drake is a great rapper, right? Now, I don't think Drake produces any records, but he has producers on his team. They produce the records, they produce the tracks, and they do the mixing and the mastering. All Drake has to do is show up to the studio, go in the booth, write his lyrics down, and then he goes and recites the lyrics. Somebody else does everything else, and then the album comes out, and everybody's like, man, Drake is a superstar. So filling in your skill gaps does not necessarily mean you have to do everything. It means you need to have elements in place that can fill in anything that you're missing or anything that will help your skill be better. Again, a great rapper is a great rapper, but until you can make a great song, a great rapper who can rap, you can stand on the corner and battle everybody in your neighborhood. But a great rapper with a great producer, you could put out a song and get 100 million streams on Spotify, and you'll be a much bigger star. You'll make a whole lot more money. So understand that those skill gaps can, again, open up your talent to the world and create more opportunities for you. That's what I mean when I say skill gaps. That can be relationships, it can be self-awareness, it can be you adding to your own skill set, working on your game, whatever you need to do. Point number 3, we're talking about what talent cannot do for you. The third thing talent can't do for you is it cannot add time to your calendar. What I mean by that is just because you are talented at something does not guarantee that you will be successful at that something. However you want to define success. If success means making a career out of it, if it means making a certain amount of money, if it means having a certain number of followers, if it means whatever you think it means to be successful, just because you are talented does not mean you have forever to get around to using that talent and turning that talent into something tangible that produces a result for you and or anyone else. There are a lot of talented people who think just because they're talented that they can take their time, that they can get around to things when they get around to it, that they can watch everybody else work hard because they're so good, they can just show up and eventually beat everybody. And what they find out, often when it's too late, is that talent alone is not going to produce results, especially when you are competing at the professional level. At the pro level, ladies and gentlemen, everybody has talent. Everybody has game. People have skills. People have worked on their game. They have enhanced their talent. So just because you are talented does not mean you have forever to get around to doing what you're going to do with your life. So you need to get clear on what you lack, get clear on the skills you need to develop, get clear on the people that you need to get around you. Because the last thing you want to be, if you're a talented individual, the last thing you want to be is an underachiever. You know what an underachiever is? That's a person who has a whole lot of talent, but they do not have the work ethic, they don't have the strategy, they don't have the plans in place, and for whatever reason, and whatever way they define success, they never actually get to that success. Not because they didn't have the opportunity and the ability, but because they didn't have the sense of urgency, they didn't have the discipline, they didn't have the strategy, and they didn't put the work in. Maybe they didn't have the right elements around them. The elements can be people, it can be ideas, it can be being in the right place at the right time. All of those elements can create or destroy your opportunity for success. So just because you're talented, do not think you have forever. You got 24 hours in a day, just like everybody else. I can see the sun right now. Eventually that sun is going to go down on everybody. So don't think you got forever to make things happen just because you're talented. Number 4, last one. I'm talking about the things that talent cannot do for you, even though you want to have talent. Just don't think talent is everything. Number 4, talent cannot make you fit everywhere. Meaning, just because you are talented at one thing does not mean you are talented at another thing. You're talented at playing sports doesn't mean you can make a rap album. Just because you can rap doesn't mean you should be playing ball. All right, just because you're a good singer doesn't mean you should write a book. All right, just because you write books doesn't mean you should create online courses. All right, just because you got a six-pack abs doesn't mean you should be a personal trainer. Having a skill in one area does not mean necessarily that you have a skill or a talent in another area unless you have put the work in and earned that skill. As I explained earlier, talent, the way I'm defining it as far as this conversation goes, is a natural gift, natural ability that you have that other people just don't have. You didn't necessarily work on it, you just have that ability. Skill is a practiced ability, meaning you have practiced it, you worked on it, you were intentional about it, and you got better at it over time. Just because you have a certain talent does not mean you have another talent, nor does it mean you have another skill. And the challenge is this: a talented individual who's in the wrong place is the most dangerous person in the room. They're more dangerous than an untalented person in the wrong place. For example, in the sports world, if you have a really talented teammate who's just a bad fit for the team that they're on, they are a worse problem than a bum player who's on that same team, because the bum player, we can just ignore them and they get out the way. A talented player who is not the right fit in an organization gets in everybody's way and they become more of a problem because of the skills that they have. In the business world, if you have a person who's a complete idiot working for you and they're messing up, you can just get rid of them because you can see they're an idiot. They know that they don't fit. You get rid of them, they're gone. A talented person working for you who is also a bad fit can destroy your whole company from the inside out because they're so good that they can be good at destroying your company because they're a bad fit, period. So just because you are talented does not mean you can fit everywhere you go in life. Cancer spreads faster when someone is talented, all right? All right, that's what a cancer is when we're talking about organizational cancer, not necessarily in a person. The more talented a person is, the faster their influences other people. In any kind of organization, any kind of group setting, the more skilled the person is, the more other people will gravitate to and follow that person's lead. Now, if you have no skill, no ability, no talent, nobody's watching you, nobody's listening to you, nobody's following anything you do because you're not good. But when you're good, everybody's watching you and listening to you. And if you're a bad fit, you can destroy everything just because you're a bad fit. You're in the wrong place doing the wrong thing. So being talented is not a free pass to lack focus or to think that you can just make anything work just because you're so damn good. Now, with all that said, what I'm about to do is recap these points. I'm going to tell you about these publications in front of me, how you get a couple of these free. And then I'm going to answer any questions. If we got any questions, it's so much sun in my face right now. I got to look close to make sure I can read everything. So, first of all, let me tell you about these books here. This right here is called The Mirror of Motivation, the Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. I made this book free because I want to make this book available to everybody out there who feels like, of course, you want to get better results in life, but you're not quite understanding how to do it. A lot of people think that to get better results in life, you just need to work harder, work on your game, focus, grind, team no sleep, or whatever those statements are that y'all been hearing on social media. That is part of it, not the team no sleep part. You need to go to sleep. But one of the things that people don't understand is before you start working hard and doing stuff, you need to ask yourself, what type of person do I need to be? Who do I need to be before I start taking action? Then I will get the results. The Mirror of Motivation is the book that will help you understand who you need to be as a person. Then, once you figure out the being part, then you start taking action. Then you will get the results you want. That's why this book is called The Mirror of Motivation. This book is not me motivating you. It is me showing you how to find the right type of person in you, not to motivate you, even though I call it The Mirror of Motivation, just because people would understand it. This book is about you finding the right type of person within you. And once you become that right type of person, you will never need to motivate yourself ever again because it will be who you are. Motivation is something that you get or something that you do. Who you are as a person is all the time. All right, you don't need to be hyped up or inspired or any of whatever stuff people like to call themselves doing when they're listening to motivational speeches or watching YouTube videos. If you become that person, you ain't got to worry about that. You can get this book free. All you got to do is cover the shipping by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. You cover the shipping. Book's paid for. You cover the shipping. Mirrorofmotivation.com. Physical book worldwide. Anywhere in the world you live, I got you. This right here is called the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This book is only for people who want to play professional basketball overseas. If you want to start your career right now, get paid to play ball overseas. There's a lot of opportunity right now. It is summertime. Summer's almost over. Teams about to start signing players. So if you want to get a job, and if you want to play overseas, you probably already know that. So if you don't have this book, I don't know what you're doing because ain't no other book out there like this one that tells you how to get started playing pro basketball overseas. I came from a D3 school as a walk-on, had no connections, no agent. I didn't know anyone who had ever played overseas. I made it happen, 9-year career. I wrote this book to show you how to do it. Go to balloverseas.com. The book is already paid for. You cover the shipping, same deal, balloverseas.com. Now, let me recap these points. The topic is the limits of talent, what talent cannot do for you. Number one, talent cannot take you past the ceiling of your personal brilliance, meaning just because you are talented doesn't mean everything's going to fall in place for you. You still have to put some work in. Number two, talent cannot fill your skill gaps. Talent is a natural, God-given ability. Skill is a practiced ability, meaning you worked on it and you did it on purpose. Talent is something that you just had, you didn't even try. So you got to make sure you're filling your skill gaps either with your own effort or with the efforts of other people. Point number three, talent cannot add time to your calendar. Just because you are talented does not mean everything's going to work out whenever you say, or just because you said. You still have to have a sense of urgency. You still got to make things happen. The sun is going down right now. I'm watching it. Eventually, everybody's sun goes down, metaphorically speaking. Just because you are talented does not mean you have extra time. And number four, talent cannot make you fit everywhere. A talented individual who is a bad fit somewhere is more dangerous than a bum person who is a bad fit, because a talented person will influence people a lot more than a bummy person will. So if you are talented and you're in the wrong place, go somewhere else. Once you realize you're on the wrong train, get off the train and go to the other side of the platform. If you realize you have a talented person on your team who doesn't belong there, get rid of them ASAP, because they will only make things worse, and they will make things worse faster than the person who's not good. Now, all that said, I'm going to not recap, but see if we got any questions. I'm not sure if we do. If we do, you got a question, go ahead and post it right now. I should have said that earlier. Someone asked, Liv Strong says, do you think politics need to be out of sports? I noticed NBA ratings are dropping. Well, I read a little bit about that at the beginning of all this, before basketball even started back up, that someone had written an article saying that, you know, the average fan doesn't want to see politics in the sports. And I think with the NBA, let's say, because they're the ones going now, and I saw the MLS was doing, that every athlete, every sport is doing it. They kneel in before the games and all that stuff. I think the players want to do it. And the leagues right now are angled towards doing what the players want to do. If all the players are saying we want to do this, the league's not going to be like, no, you can't, for the most part, as we are seeing. So the players want to do it, but I think the leagues probably understand. They can read. They know that they're losing fans when they do that. But what are they going to do? Tell the players you can't do it? When all the players are black and a lot of black people are feeling as if they are some type of victim right now for whatever reason. I've talked about this on my show, by the way. If you want to hear me talk about this in detail, I've talked about it many times. So do I think politics shouldn't be there? It ain't really about whether it should or shouldn't, because people have their own opinions. But as a league, business-wise, the only thing that's going to change it is if they start losing money. If the players start realizing that their contracts are going down, then they'll stop doing this stuff. But if it doesn't, then they're going to keep doing it. That's what I see. Dylan from New York was good. We got Charles from Mississippi. Zach 2.7 was going on. Ego 9. Phobia. Andy from LA was good. Yeah, it's hot everywhere right now. N4Cho06 was good. Facebook, y'all got comments, go ahead and post it. Mozart Gates says your sales mouthpiece is on point. That's a fact. I've been doing this for a while, if you can't tell. But you gotta be able to communicate what you offering to people. You can't communicate it, they won't know it, and if they don't know it, they ain't gonna do nothing. If they don't do nothing, it ain't their fault, it's your fault. So as a salesperson, I always take responsibility for making sure y'all understand what I'm offering. N1K Grom checking in from Estonia. Shout out to Estonia. Sports Lover says, being an Instagram model a skill? Looks like they going to be hot forever. Is being an Instagram model a skill? I would say yes, it is a skill. Being an Instagram model is a skill, because you are taking your body and you're objectifying yourself on purpose, and you are drawing an audience from that, and hopefully you could turn that audience into some type of revenue or something, because you don't get paid for having followers, right? You don't get paid for likes and comments, but you can get paid for sales or brand deals and things like that. So is it a skill? Yes, it's a skill, because not everybody can do it. Right? Some people want to do it, they ain't doing it. So yes, I do believe it is a skill to be an Instagram model. Are they going to be hot forever? I think the concept of being an Instagram model will be hot, not each individual model, because eventually, everybody gets older every single day, and eventually you might not, you might get to an age when you don't want to show off your body anymore because it don't look the same that it did when you were, 25 or 35 or whatever. But the concept of Instagram modeling is nothing but soft pornography. That's all. Instagram modeling is soft porn. That's all it is. It's not hard porn because you can't be naked, but it's soft porn. You basically take off as much as you can while still being, technically not pornography, not naked. You're not showing you can't show no nipple, you can't show no pubic hair. But besides that, you can show everything else. So yes, Instagram modeling is a skill, just like pornography is a skill, modeling is a skill. Yes, to answer your question. And he says, no, I saw that. Let's see what else we got. Charles said, would you agree that there are a lot of successful rappers who are not talented or skilled, like Blueface, 6ix9ine, etc.? Well, music is art, so it's hard to gauge with that. Being that it's art, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So you're naming a couple people who you think are not talented or skilled, but those people, you know their names though, right? How you know their names? You know their names because they're popular. How they become popular? Because they got fans. They have people who like their music. So there are some people, if you go to next time Blueface or 6ix9ine does a concert, go look and see how many tickets are available. And people are buying their records. People are listening to their music. So somebody likes it. So even if they're not that great at putting words together, it might be the way that they look or the way that they talk on Instagram or just the catchiness of the song. Maybe they got a dance to go with it, even though the music is whack. Those are all skills. Those are all things. If you can get an audience to buy into what you're doing, that is a skill. Just getting an audience to buy into you is a skill in itself. So those guys, just based on the fact that you know their names, means that they do have skill or talent, one or the other. But it's all art. So you don't have to like it. You personally don't have to like it, but other people can like it. That's the same thing with modeling, music, any kind of art. All of that stuff is art, as opposed to in the sports world when there's a scoreboard and you can say this team won the game, this team lost the game. It's not like that in music. Mozart says, what are your thoughts on, what the hell is this? Gun ownership, and are you a gun owner? I think we got a gun. My girl got a gun. I ain't got a gun, she got a gun. So if I ever need one, I just borrow hers. What is my thought on gun ownership? The Second Amendment says you have a right to own a gun. That's it, period. The Second Amendment gives you a right to own a gun. You can't stop it now because people already got them. So you can't tell people who ain't got them. It's not like they can revoke it and be like, all right, no more guns can be sold. Now the people who have guns, now they got it, but now nobody else can get it. Everybody has the right to own a gun. That's it. In the United States, that is, as long as you're in America. Safe Boy says, what do you think the chances of a 6-foot man making the NBA? Well, that's too vague of a question. I mean, Allen Iverson was about roughly 6 feet. Chris Paul, I think, is 6 feet. Who else is 6 feet? There's a bunch of basketball players who are 6 feet tall. So there are plenty of examples of people being 6 feet and making it to the NBA. It depends on a lot of other factors other than your height. Can you play? That's a much more important question than how tall you are. At least if you're 6 feet. Now, if you're under that, then it's a lot harder just because of your size. But 6 feet, there are plenty of them. Dylan says, I'm trying to make varsity for my senior year, but I've been dealing with Osgood Slatter in my knees, and I can't go as hard as I want to, and it's difficult mentally. Any tips? Well, one, you can see a doctor and ask the doctor what you can do about the Osgood Slatter. As far as mentally, I would suggest that you get this book right here, the Mirror Motivation at mirrormotivation.com. The book is free. All you gotta do is pay for the shipping. mirrorofmotivation.com. And if you already read that, then actually after you get this, after you claim your copy of this and we already confirm we're sending it to you, you can order this. We'll give you an offer for this. Now this book, Work on Your Game, hardcover book. This is me taking my whole philosophy and condensing it down to 250 pages because the publisher asked me to make it 250 pages. I would have made it 1,000 pages, but most people wouldn't read a 1,000-page book. You can read 250 pages. This ain't that long, right? You read this, Work on Your Game. It's about the whole philosophy. Again, the best 250 pages of the philosophy. It's not the whole thing, but the best. If you want my whole philosophy, you got to go to Work on Your Game University, which is at workonyourgameu.com. That's where I have a daily master class. So if y'all like what you just heard, I do this every single day, audio, so you can listen to it while you're driving, while you're at work, on your phone. I put out a snippet every day for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. Y'all know all those. That is what y'all will call a podcast. But my show is called a masterclass because every day I go deep on these topics of the Work on Your Game philosophy. Again, that's at Work on Your Game University. You can get a snippet for free every day. Just subscribe to it. It's called Work on Your Game. So just look it up on whatever platform you got, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever. What's the other one? Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud. Y'all know how to find it. And then if you want the full thing, every day, Work on your game university. I'm going to take like 2 more questions. Starting college this fall online, how do I deal with the overwhelming pressure to get good grades? Why is there pressure for you to get good grades? I mean, college degree is about to stop mattering in a minute anyway. So you ain't even got to worry about that. Unfortunately, you start in college this fall, it's a terrible time to start college because you can't actually be on the campus and be around people. I'd be pissed if I was starting college or even in college right now because I can't be on campus and around people. Or if my campus was closed or they like doing all online or I need to be around people. I need the parties. I need the girls. I need all that. If I'm going to college, that's half of what I'm paying for. I need the co-eds. I need the partying. I need the socializing. Forget the school. If all I wanted was knowledge, I could go and take classes. I'll go sign up for somebody's online course rather than go to college. At least when I sign up for an online course, I get to choose my professor. In college, you got a limited number of people who they might not even be good. All right, I'm taking like 2 or 3 more questions and it's a wrap. Dylan says, I've been seeing a physical therapist. I'm doing everything to make it better. What are the things I can do to improve my game when I'm unable to do on the court? Well, how you going to get better at basketball if you can't get on the basketball court? I mean, I don't know how you would expect me to answer that question. If you want to get better at basketball, you got to be on the court. That's just the way it works. I mean, you can work on dribbling without being on the court, but you probably already know that. Saleh says, I struggle with doing the correct form and doing weights. How do I improve myself? Hire a trainer so they can show you. Or fire up some YouTube videos where they show you the form. All right, but that's the last question I'm taking. I do these lives every single day, everybody. So all you got to do is just turn on your notifications. I don't have a set time when I do them. I may start doing a set time, but I don't always do a set time. Just stay tuned. Do these lives every day. You didn't know already, balloverseas.com, the book is free, just covers shipping. Mirrormotivation.com, the book is free, just covers shipping. Work on your game. This is the full philosophy. When you get this book, I'm going to make you a better offer for this book than you can get if you order it anywhere else. So I would suggest you just hold off. Just get this one, and I'll tell you how to get this one. Everybody, work on your game. We out of here. Dre all day.